everyone, and welcome to Growing Kentucky's Leaders. I'm one of your hosts, Sheldon McKinney.
And I'm your other host, Ruth Ann Fink.
And today we have a special friend of Kentucky FFA to introduce you to. We have Terry Ashby. Terry is a retired executive in the poultry industry. He is a former Kentucky FFA member from the Hopkinsville FFA chapter, and he is a current member of the Kentucky FFA Board of Trustees. Wonderful friend, leader, donor. Terry, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so you have an incredible life story to tell. You've had so many amazing experiences. Let's break it down into some bite-sized pieces for everybody. And let's tell us about how you grew up. You spent your whole life in the poultry industry. So tell us about your family and what the FFA chapter in Hopkinsville, Kentucky was like when you were a part of it.
I grew up on a poultry farm, egg farm, commercial egg operation in Christian County, Kentucky, in South Christian. We raised leghorns, and in addition to that, I had FFA and 4-H projects where I raised pullets for laying hens. That my brothers and I got to own those on our own and run that as our own small money-making business on the side. So we grew up working in the poultry industry. When I graduated college from University of Kentucky, I wanted to work in the poultry industry. And my dad gave me good advice at that time, which was look at the meat side of the business instead of the egg side of the business. So I went into work in the broiler production, meat production side of the business.
Okay. And how did FFA play a role in all of that?
It played a large role because I was, like most young people, concerned about getting in front of a group or trying to lead a group in those kind of roles. And FFA taught me, first of all, how to meet people, how to have a firm handshake. I always remember my advisor saying, don't be the wet dish rag, give a firm handshake when you meet somebody, look at the person in the eye. And it taught us how to get in front of a group and be comfortable to communicate either through speech contest or demonstrations or other FFA contests. I eventually became president of our local chapter and learned how to lead a group in a very organized way with correct parliamentary procedure, and just a wonderful experience. And it gave me the confidence to want to get involved with other organizations after that. In college, agribusiness club, I became president of that, and it gave me that added confidence and I think skill set to be able to go on and take more roles in the company that I went to work for. So I worked in the sales area for a period of time. So in front of customers, trying to communicate what we wish them to purchase from us and why that was important. And spent most of my career in production in processing plants and hatcheries and feed mills. And you're always trying to sell a concept to everyone, whether it's a peer, a boss, or somebody that works for you. You're always in that mode of trying to effectively communicate with confidence. Here's what we want to do, and here's why we want to do it, and it just all played a big role in that.
Yeah, you mentioned this professional career you had in the broiler side of the industry and this company you worked for in these roles, but let's name it, Terry, because that's a very humble way to talk about your professional career. You had a lifelong career with Perdue Foods and in the broiler industry. Why don't you give us the full roadmap of what your first position was with Perdue and then how it grew over time?
Okay. When I first graduated college, I moved to Delaware, of all places. And went to work for the Perdue. The company had just expanded its operation and had bought a new facility in Georgetown, Delaware. And my role in that was as a live production supervisor. I had about 30 farms that I was responsible for. I would go visit the farms and help the producer manage their environmental systems, the ventilation. I would keep a check on bird health and make sure that the poultry was being raised in the proper way, in the most effective way. it was a great place to start because it leaned on my experience from being around live animals during my youth, and it gave me a comfortable way to start interacting with people and asking them to do things that I knew would help them and help the company. From there, Perdue wanted me to move to the Northeast to New England and work in the sales area. It was a great opportunity. Connecticut was a new marketing area for Perdue. We had very little business there at the time, and it was just a great opportunity because we had such a high quality product, superior to our competition. We were a very innovative company, and we were able to go to an area that had a lot of independent grocers, a lot of 10, 15 store chains. And it was good for me as a young person to start there because if I did make a big mistake, well, it was limited to 10 stores, right? Instead of 500 stores or 1,000. So,
Yeah.
so that was a good side of it. But it gave me, again, that confidence of having some successes. And in a year's time, we went from a very little market share to we had 40% market share of the market in about a year's time. Just really was just a wonderful experience.
And to be clear, you're selling chicken to the
Yes,
grocery.
I'm selling poultry. I'm selling retail poultry for the supermarket business primarily. We had some restaurant and institutional trade, but primarily supermarket. The customers at the time in that area were Wall-Bombs, Stop and Shop, some of the New England chains, but mostly small independent grocers that had just a lot of IGA type stores. And from there, the company asked me to move to the New York City area, and I was made responsible for the New York City marketing part of our company, which our definition of marketing at the time was outside sales, face to face with customers. And so again, the FFA experience, a small rural boy from Kentucky with an accent a little bit different than how they talk in Brooklyn, give me the confidence to go in front of those customers and talk to them about their business and how we might be able to help them sell more product and have better satisfied customers. So it was quite the experience to work in New York City. About half of our business was there, and I learned a lot. I learned a lot very quickly in New York, and it was really a wonderful experience. And my wife, Donna, and I got to experience a different part of the country. And we always try to, on weekends and other times, just enjoy the area of the country we're living in. Go see the sites, go see the museums, just go experience what those areas were all about. And it was a great experience as far as that goes. Later, I moved to our main offices in Salisbury, Maryland, to be the product manager of what was our oven stuffer roaster program and Cornish hen program. It's a very profitable business, the roaster program was, and we managed that with coordinating what the plants were to produce, what our marketing was going to be, our advertising. I worked with our advertising folks and put together plans on how much volume, what our product mix should be, where our new targets were, and it was real satisfying to see growth in that. And that's one thing I would tell young people that are looking to go into an industry is check to see what kind of growth is that business or that part of the industry is experiencing, because growth opens up opportunities, and that's especially important for somebody that's new into an industry and into a business. You don't have to wait for someone to die or retire to take their spot. There's new positions being created. So no matter what business you look to go, you're considering as a career, I would encourage somebody coming out of school, out of college, to really look at the growth there and what kind of opportunities for growth it might be for them.
Sure.
Later, I went into production, which was my real love. I was put into a plant manager position at our large plant in Accomack, Virginia. A lot of people thought, well, gosh, you're going to be inside a plant. You're going to work inside all day. You're not going to be out. That's And it was quite the opposite experience for me. It was so many things going on at one time, and the people are just great. These are associates that are coming into work with no agenda other than they've got a task to do, and they want to produce the best quality product they can. They want their problem solved, and it was just dealing with, just rarely ever was there an ego. It was just, here's what I'm doing, and can you help me? And I loved it. I loved working in the processing plants, and enjoyed getting to be able to do each job in the plant, and get to know people there, and just leading a group of people and setting a mindset and a vision for what we want to get accomplished, and what's important, what's going well, what's not going well, what do we need to do to improve, what are the customers saying about our product. Um, and that was just a really fulfilling position.
Yeah.
After my experience at the processing plant, Perdue asked me to move to Eastern North Carolina and manage an entire complex, which in the poultry industry, that means a unit that will produce poultry from baby chick to
Okay.
through the plant to the customer. And that was that complex had 2 hatcheries, had a feed mill, and a very large processing plant. And I was there for 8 years managing that operation. And again, just working with a lot of production, going back to where I started the company, and working with farmers and working with our feed mill associates. It was just a lot of fun. Eventually, Perdue wanted to expand west, and they looked at Kentucky as being an operation, a place that would be great to grow poultry. And um,
They're like, we know a guy.
yes, that's what eventually happened. I didn't jump up and down and say, "Hey, me." I was very happy in Eastern North Carolina. Things were going well, but at the same time, I can't tell you how excited I was when I got the phone call. Hey, we want to talk to you about coming out and building the Kentucky complex. I had been 800 to 1,000 miles away from home, and here was an opportunity for me to move back to Western Kentucky, be within 80, 90 miles of where I grew up, and be able to. I knew that the poultry industry would be great for Kentucky. It was at a time when farmers were losing their tobacco allotment. The tobacco buyout was going on. Farmers needed a way to replace income from the tobacco that they had been growing. And I just thought poultry fit perfectly with that. It was, we were looking for small farmers. We were looking for farmers that would be actively participating in growing poultry on a daily basis, not hiring out to other people, but a family farm that was intimately involved in raising and caring for poultry. And the operation we built in Cromwell, Kentucky, Ohio County, was perfect for that. We had a lot of small farms, and it was a lot of fun to go out, and a lot of work, but a lot of fun to go out and have meetings with potential farmers, and be able to talk to them about growing poultry. And then putting together the processing plant was
Yeah. So,
quite the
2
experience.
things. You designed this whole plant for how it would run, but also you had to recruit people to produce the chickens to come to the plant. So you had this
Built from the ground up.
from the ground up.
It was a cow pasture when we started, and
Yeah.
there was nobody in that area that had ever heard of Perdue, I don't think.
Yeah.
And were not familiar with poultry industry. So the whole key was, it wasn't me. We had a great team. We had a lot of really good people that worked hard, very hard. It's the hardest thing I've ever done in my career. And it was absolutely a team effort. And again, FFA was part of that, because you have to know how to motivate people. You have to know how to show sincere appreciation for the late nights and the extra efforts that were being made. I always laugh at our engineer building the plant. He at one point said, "We're down to half days. We're only working 12 hours a day now," and that was so true. We were all working hard to make this happen. But we go ahead.
I want to tell you more about that. You finished your career in sales, though, right?
I did. It was not quite the full circle, but similar.
Yeah.
After managing the Cromwell complex for Perdue for I think about 14, 15 years, Perdue asked me to go back in the sales area and work with Kroger, which was we saw as just a lot of potential for new business, and I had that opportunity, and we partnered with Kroger on a lot of different aspects, and from coast to coast and all their divisions, and it was a different role for sure. It was going from the production side to the sales side. Had to go back and refresh uh, what are our goals and what are our opportunities for growth. And we had a great partnership with Kroger. They were extremely good to work with. We had some success in creating some new private label products for them, and that allowed us the door to introduce Perdue products and divisions that had never had our product. So it was just it was a good experience.
Yeah. Terry, I just love your story so much because you started on a poultry farm and then you started in the company at an entry level position, working with farmers in their houses, helping them figure it out, and ended like you just clearly you were a leader and somebody they could trust, who they believed they could wear any hat. And you just went on this great adventure. I think it's so amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I
And
have
the
to
power
credit.
of saying yes. That's what I hear as someone who is like, I wouldn't even say I'm at my mid-career yet, in the professional world. But when you tell your story, what I hear is they said, "Hey, do you want this position in this state?" And you said, "Yes." And you went and you did it, and then every opportunity you were presented, yes, and you really, uh, made a name for yourself in that company. We got to visit you at that site in Cromwell with the state officer team a few years ago, and people just adore you and really respect your leadership within that company. It's evident.
Yeah, I have to tell you, Terry, as a board member, you're always invited to attend our industry tours. And that is what I will remember about our time together is you love to go with us and the state FFA officers on industry visits. And we've seen
Yeah.
some great, amazing places together. But you helped us get into the Perdue Cromwell facility that you like chose where the electrical outlets were going to be in. Like this was your baby. You've been gone from that facility for several years. But the respect and admiration and
Mhm.
true care that these people had for you um, was so palpable. It was people who talked about how you got them home when it was a snowy night and they had to work late and just, it was amazing. So
Yeah.
my question is, what lessons of leadership did you take to manage all those people and to build a team in a place where truly the work is hard and it's messy, and
Mhm.
it's hard. How did you build such an amazing community?
It is hard work, and I think
Mhm.
a lot of it is having that experience as a young person in FFA or growing up on a farm where you have the opportunity to drive a truck, drive a tractor, to go out in the poultry house and fix a feed line that's not working properly. It's that hands-on experience that FFA gives through the SAE projects and other projects where later in life you can relate to that person that's doing that job. You know what it's like, even if you haven't performed that exact task. You know what it's like to work with an animal or to work on a project mechanically,
Yeah.
or it just gives you a way that you can relate to people, and hopefully you've got that inside you that you want that person to succeed, and you want that person to do is the best they can, and um, I think that's what drives us.
Yeah. Terry, you are so many things to us, just professionally and personally too. You're a donor to the Kentucky FFA Foundation. We've mentioned that you're on this board of trustees that we get to utilize your all strengths to help grow Kentucky FFA. You volunteer not only in FFA but in so many different areas of your life. You're a giver in a lot of ways. And you and your wife Donna are really enjoying this season of retirement and being grandparents and traveling the world and seeing things that you've dreamt of seeing. And Sheldon and I both just look up to you in so many ways for all of those things. But we want to act like, how has being plugged back into FFA in this season of life been a blessing to you?
It really has been, and I'm so glad that Keith Buckingham, one of my classmates from Hopkinsville High, introduced me to Sheldon, and uh, it gave me the opportunity to get involved again with FFA, and it's it's the young people. It's to see them growing, to see them gaining confidence, and my wife Donna is she's always amazed after we attend events. I can hear her on the phone talking to her friends and family. You would not believe these young people in FFA. We got to
Mhm.
meet the state officers last night, and it gives a whole new hope for what's going on with
Yeah.
our youth. And um, a lot of times we focus on the negative as a society, and here you get a chance to see regular kids in school that are had a success in a project or success in a leadership opportunity that they had, and that's the motivation.
Yeah.
Well, you're certainly a blessing to us. I hope you do know that. Yeah.
And your leadership's been a blessing to Christian County and Hopkinsville FFA. I want to talk a minute about Forever Blue Giving. Our Forever Blue Endowment Program, people can set up a minimum of $10,000 that we invest those funds. They gain in interest, and we take a 5% spend off of them each year. People can designate that to a local FFA chapter. You really connected with us because you wanted to do something for your hometown, for Christian County and Hopkinsville FFA chapters. They will be combined in a year or two from now, but you were instrumental in getting that started. You committed some funds, but you also called your FFA officer team and your classmates who are at this point in their careers, many retired, they're in a position to give, and you built consensus to say, let's start a community endowment. That endowment now is still growing. We're still getting gifts from it all of the time. It's well over 6 figures now, truly moving the needle for students and will be for a long time. What has that meant to you? And how would you encourage other people to do that?
Absolutely. That was, I remember I was driving south on I-75, leaving Cincinnati, in that windshield time that you have. And I always had a great admiration for Mr. Earl Webb, our VOAG instructor, and respect for all the VOAG instructors that have put so much of their time and effort into growing young people and doing what they could. And I wanted to do something just to pay back or to recognize him for his efforts and the other VOAG teachers. So I had something a lot smaller in mind when I first started this. I was just going to make a gift to the high school and see what they
Mhm.
needed. Maybe there's a welder they needed or something they needed to help students. And so I wasn't thinking big enough, right? And
Mhm.
so I thought about that. And Keith and some of my other classmates, we talked. I told them about this idea, and Keith introduced me to you, Sheldon. And I had already contacted the school system, and it was going to be quite the task to try to set up something to donate money to. And we brainstormed together and you came up with the way that the
Yeah.
endowment could work, and you already had some things in place that made it much easier. And then my classmates challenged all of us to let's think bigger than giving a small gift. Let's get the community involved, and we went out and talked to community leaders and talked to our other classmates, and the
Yeah.
endowment is going well. And the real excitement of that is not only is there a Hopkinsville Christian County endowment now, that's spread to dozens of other chapters, and many chapters over $100,000 in each of the endowments, and, and people I think um, feel very good about giving back to their local chapter in addition to the state or national FFA.
Mhm. Yeah. And they give to the Kentucky FFA Foundation, and then we market for Christian County Hopkinsville FFA. But what you all have done so beautifully is that is our goal. It will be a centennial goal is to help local FFA chapters raise money and start endowments that are just long-term financial stability and a place for people to give. But if
What
you
I
ask,
like about the endowment is usually you think of endowments as college scholarships for what happens after high school, but FFA endowments help students right now while they're in high school or going through school, and the endowments are targeted for if there's a young person that can't get an FFA jacket. An FFA jacket is bought for them discreetly, and they have a chance to have that. If they need to go to a camp that they wouldn't have the means or possibilities to go otherwise. So what's really satisfying about all this is it's not anything that they have to wait for to go to further education.
Mm-hmm.
It's helps them here and now and helps them be successful when they go to whatever path they go after high school.
Oh, you're so right. It truly is life-changing. But what works is that if I was to call 5 of your classmates from Christian County, they don't know me, or it doesn't really matter who I am, who's calling. But when your classmate that you had these experiences with 30, 40 years ago calls you and says, I'm doing this for my hometown, our hometown, don't you want to be a part of it? The answer is always, almost always, an easy yes. And so you all have just that community peer-to-peer fundraising for FFA. You all are the model. And it's been a pleasure to work with you. And we know we're changing the lives of students. You get those thank you notes. We hear from those teachers. It's impactful now.
We have a good mix of high school classmates that some were similar to my situation where we moved out of state and had agricultural careers in other parts of the country, some across the world. And then we had David Wimpy, Billy Garnett, and people that have made a career right there in the county. And those individuals have so much respect in the local community that when we go talk to people, they know that this is a trustworthy organization, and they have that relationship that opens so many doors. And the community has been great to help us raise funds for Hopkinsville, Christian County, FFA, and in a sense help the other chapters get started as well.
Yeah. Absolutely. And it's such a great invitation to plug back in. You know, so many of your classmates, this was their invitation to plug back in with FFA, and they certainly have. And we appreciate that. And you all really pioneering what a successful endowment can look like.
Are you looking for fresh, new talent to add to your workforce? We have the perfect opportunity for you. Our Kentucky FFA Works program is available for company partner signups now with some exciting new improvements. Apply on our website at www.kyffaworks.com by December 31st, and you will have the opportunity to receive a selection of talented FFA members looking to be hired every quarter. We help you find the cream of the crop so that you can spend less time recruiting.
Terry, this has been such a great time together. We always end our episodes with the same 3 questions. We're looking forward to hearing your answers. And the first is just, yes, you're retired, but you're still doing so many things that you care about. What keeps you motivated?
Well, a couple of things come to mind. One, Kentucky FFA keeps me motivated because, again, as we talked about, seeing young people grow and take on new responsibilities and get ready for that next step in their life is motivation enough. When we go to the industry tours that the state FFA officers go to, I'm always blown away with the conduct of our state officers, the questions they ask. Business leaders are extremely thoughtful, good questions, and the way that they represent FFA is impressive, and it makes you want to help with that group. The other thing comes to mind is church projects, and I've been active with tornado relief in Mayfield. Our church has gone down several times to rebuild homes or build homes. And Mel from Fuller Center at Mayfield just told me last week, he said, we've had people come in and give a lot of money and they leave. And he says, that's great. We need the money. We have to have funds to purchase things. He says, but you guys came in, gave money, and then you keep coming back every year to help us on the projects year after year. And it was satisfying to hear that you do want to see it through. You want to participate with not just equity, but with some sweat equity and some other things too. And it's having that relationship with local people and seeing them benefit is always great.
Terry, it is clear, like You were a wonderful leader. You are also a philanthropist at heart who just
Mhm.
cares. You've answered our second question is what's your favorite way you engage in philanthropy now and what keeps you motivated? It is helping others. And it's just so clear that that's your heart. I hope when people listen to these episodes of trustees, FFA Foundation trustees, that they will see that the heart of the people that we're asking to make decisions for Kentucky FFA around the table is as good as it gets.
Mhm.
So thank you for giving your time to us, your time and talent to us. It's really meaningful. Last question. This can be silly, serious, whatever you're thinking, but what is something that you cannot stop talking about?
It's the young people in FFA. It's seeing them just how impressive they are. I've been talking to my grandkids about when are you going to start getting active and take some ag classes, and because it's just so refreshing, and to see somebody gain skills and put them to use and see either a project go through or an effort go through and to the end successfully is it keeps you motivated.
Mhm. That's wonderful. Well, Terry, thank you for being with us on the show today and just having such a servant heart. We're lucky to get to be a beneficiary of your leadership and time and talent. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. And guys, thank you all for being on listening to this episode of Growing Kentucky's Leaders. Growing Kentucky's Leaders is a podcast brought to you by the Kentucky FFA Foundation. Our music is performed by Bourbon County FFA member Joe Fritch. Artwork is by Julie Fritch Creative. Your hosts are Sheldon McKinney and Ruth Ann Fink, and you can find us on all social platforms at Kentucky FFA.